Technical analysis for gold in 5 minutes. Hi, it's Charlie giving you Thursday morning's video. Right, let's go and have a quick look. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at just levels here for gold. Gold obviously has attracted a lot of attention this year, and right to the point where at some point, we've been saying in my trading room, at some point we're going to go and get a fast and hard pullback, and you just don't know from what point. But when it gets that euphoric from a sentiment perspective, that you've got gold is being talked about on UK morning TV, just general morning television. That doesn't happen in the UK, and it's advertised on the radio and such like, then you know that from a sentiment perspective it's getting fairly frothy. So anyway, that's what's happened thus far. So let's have a look at some levels here for gold. So what we're going to be looking at is levels on the daily charts, but then going out to the higher time frames as well, because there are other levels in play. First and foremost, I've been looking at this, the daily 50 zone. So this is my 50 moving average. So if gold pulls back to that daily 50 and we then see a reversal, then I think that's a nice early zone there. The one thing overall I must say with gold is because it's been in such a bull run really this year, not just this last leg, earlier this year as well, the sentiment got quite frothy there, went sideways for a good few months before the breakout again. It often takes time to work off that sentiment. So I'm not necessarily expecting gold to go straight up to new all-time highs again after this pullback. But I think there's some tradable opportunities, and then we'll just see how long it does take. Okay, so let's have a look at these levels. So the daily 50, I think in the first instance, around that at the moment, we'll call it 3800 area for a pullback into that zone. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Beyond that, then I start then looking out to the highs of that prior consolidation. This whole zone here, we've got a gap back from back there as well. So then we've got this whole zone down here. So that's quite a bit lower. So we'll look at these levels. And again, what you do as a trader or investor is you decide which levels that you want to trade off of. So a trader is more likely going to say, yeah, I'll trade off of that level there. And if it bounces and then that doesn't do much and it fizzles out and it comes over, fair enough, I'll just get trading stopped out or whatever. And then I'll look to this next level down here. And a trader will then just trade that level as well, and so on and so forth. Now, someone who is a more positional trader, for looking to hold for longer, they may wait for a bigger pullback. So let's come out to the monthly chart here. So I've got this on, have I still got this on a logarithmic scale? Yeah, I have. So on a log scale here, I've got my old trend channel in play. Now, if gold pulls back, in fact, we've got, from a deep perspective, we've got the old cup and handle trend line across the highs. That would be quite a pullback, so let's ignore that. But overall, we have got this mid-channel area, which comes into, well, it depends on how long it takes, but it could be into the below 3,500. So again, someone who's looking for a larger retracement, you're going to be looking down towards those sorts of levels. Now, I've just quickly flipped my chart here back to a regular scale, not log scale, and so you can see this long-term channel. So I've got this trend line along these lows here from 2018 and 2022, and they're just taking it above up to that high there. So we got up to there, we thought about it for a few minutes, a few months even, and then broke higher. So if I zoom in, now we got this more accurately on this chart, then ignoring those much lower levels, we do have the scope to come back to this prior trend line here. So that comes in at around about, let's call it, 3,500 to 3,600 area. And again, we never know for sure, because we don't know how long it will take to come to there. Obviously, with every month that passes, that trend line is rising. So there's a few levels here to look at, and then you just take your poison, so to speak, as to, well, do you want to wait for if you're looking to be a buyer, that is, do you want to wait for a larger retracement? A lot of people have been wanting to buy. So do you wait for a larger retracement, or in the meantime, if you're still a more active trader, you're still going to look at those levels like off the daily charts where there's still going to be trading opportunities as well. Just a final note here. You can see I've got my 20 period moving average here on the monthly, and obviously my 50. Even as we're pulling back slightly, we're still extended away from these key moving averages. Now that 20 is going to move as we go into the new month, so that will move up a little bit, but there's still a bit of a gap to fill, so to speak. Now price doesn't have to come back fully and touch that 20 moving average, but nevertheless there's still a bit of a distance there. So I'm overall, I think when you're in a massive bull market, don't write off the potential for price to go higher. And I've been talking about that this year, when people thought, oh, surely it's going to pull back from sort of here, sort of thing, and it didn't. So we can't write off that gold could still extend higher, but at the same time, there is that scope for those retracements. Pick your poison, pick your levels. And see if we come down there. But there are some nice levels here for gold. So we're looking at that 3,500 area or so on this higher time frame, and then there will be other levels when I come back down to the likes of the daily charts. Like I've already said, that 3,800 area there, that 3,500 area I've just talked about comes in nicely with these prior highs as well. So I think there's going to be some nice levels coming into play here for gold. Now, one last thing. I know I said this is a 5-minute video. Gold is coming into, fun enough, seasonally, its most positive time of the year as we approach December and January. So don't forget that as well. Although I must admit, gold's had an exceptional year already. So yes, it's extended. Yes, therefore, it could pull back some more. But again, it depends on the type of trader that you are. So if you're more of an active trader, you're still going to be looking at these more near-term levels to trade off of. And if it then just does sort of dead cat bounces and then rolls over, fine, you'll then reposition yourself for a larger retracement. Someone who's an investor may say, no, I'll just wait for a slightly larger retracement, and they'll wait and see if they get that. There you go, a little bit on gold there. Have a lovely day. I'll be back in touch at the weekend.